Welcome to our busy video on user interface design for games. I think there will be 8 or 9 video before this one in terms of user interface design. Please watch those videos to understand this video better. We are talking about camera model and third person perspective. Actually, we are talking about different perspectives of camera model. One of them was third person. So we just finished talking about that, and another is aerial perspective. I think in this case it uses omnipresent interaction model, and you need to show a large part of the game world. I think it can be some role-playing games or party-based games. Another thing is top-down perspective. You set the camera above and straight down from the top. Sometimes you can tilt a little bit so that the graphics can be shown. I think especially in 2D graphics game, this type of camera model is used to display the neighborhood or surrounding environment. And in isometric perspective, I think in top down it's just the direct down view and up, but in isometric perspective it's just a little bit lower than the top down perspective, and also it looks across. It just position 45 degrees from the top. So yeah. And free roaming camera, I think here the player can move the camera in any direction at any angle. So you have to, the implementation can be little difficult, and also you need to make it realistic so that near object looks bigger and far object looks smaller, something like that. And in context sensitive camera models, I think the camera positions itself in the main action of the game area. So you need to define the I think display for each of the places where the camera can be, or where the action can be. It can be a little bit difficult, or more work will be required in these terms. Now I think these are the different feedback elements that we can use in terms of user interface design to display information to the player, or to take information from the player. Indicators, digits, needle gauge, I think maybe in the car fuel or something, some power bar. What can it be? I think it's a long, narrow, colored rectangle that can become shorter or larger for the corresponding actions and corresponding value. You can use some small multiples, color lights, turn on, turn off, or different color to indicate different status. You can use icons, symbolic icons, large or small icons, whatever fits, maybe some tooltip as well. Text indicators, just to display some text, to propagate some message to the user, or to take some, I think, text conversation, scripted conversation stuff. I think mini maps, it will be actually mini maps. I think using these maps the player will be able to see the game world around him. You can use color to convey different options or different information to the player. Character portrait, maybe you can just maybe in first person perspective you can use character portraits at one corner to show the face of the player and different facial expressions. Maybe it can help sometimes. So there will be screen buttons and menus, there will be text. And localization, I think it's just customizing your application for a particular country or particular language. To localize, you need to keep the text in text files, not embedded into the game or game user interface. so that you can change the text and it can be ported to a different language. Typefaces and formatting, yeah, I think you should use appropriate size, maybe at least 12, and the font, it should be consistent. Maybe you can use Verdana 12. Yeah, you need to know some details on this. Okay, there are audio elements, sound effects. You have to decide sound effects appropriately. You also have to decide the ambient sounds, the music, it goes with the scene or not, dialogue and voiceover narration. I think the different dialogues that you will be using, so you have to make sure that those dialogues are not too much boring, or what can happen if the dialogue is to be repeated again and again. Maybe you can the first time it will be the one dialogue, second, and other times it can be text, or it can be some another dialogue. You can keep multiple versions of the same dialogue or different dialogue to mean the same thing, so that players don't get bored. And also, okay,